Well, hello, my YouTube friends. Oh my god, it's been a while since my last video. Fucking coronavirus killed a lot of things, and among them is the fun of playing. What was that noise? I don't know. The fun of playing, collecting knives, and that has been slowed down. So I'm more scarce on the social media. I post definitely less on Instagram. And on YouTube, I usually record videos on YouTube whenever I acquire a new knife, and this has been slowed down even before the coronavirus. I mean, the tendency was that the market was getting slow, and during those years of collecting, I've acquired a lot of knives, spent a lot of money on knives, and I decided at some point to get some balance. And whenever I wanted to buy a knife, I had to sell other in order to maintain a balance. And not eat all the the family money with that pleasure, with that hobby. So people were buying less. So incidentally, it made me buy less as well, since I was not selling as I wanted at some point. So yeah, the balance. Then the fucking coronavirus, killed us. Less shows, and even decreasing the market as it was. But I had this knife, and for some reason I didn't review it, whereas I consider that knife to be the best production knife. I was playing with it the other day, and I just figured out that I didn't make a video about it. And it surprised me because, again, to me, that's the best production knife to date, and I will try to get you through that reasoning. There's a part of reasoning and a part of emotion, of course, but I will try to play with both, as I do usually in my messy way and probably rusty way, since I haven't done videos in a long time on YouTube. So now, let's start first with some words about the company. It won't take long. It's a Chinese company owned by David, and they do fantastic knives. I mean, for those of you who still watch my video, I'm pretty sure that you all know about We Knives. Of course, it's Chinese, you can tell, but I mean, the quality control is unparalleled. I mean, you have a lot of companies now, and some of them are really, really good. We is just fantastic. They do their own design. They would do collaboration. This one is a collaboration with Elijah, Ishambladeworks. That Elijah is he's a young dude, and he's extremely, extremely talented. He's got an eye of his own with designs. Crazy design as this one is, but he's doing even crazier design, not always to my liking, but you can give him that. He is a tremendous designer, tremendous, absolutely tremendous. Again, we does incredible builds, and this one is probably the best they ever made, and this is the reasoning part. I'm gonna try, and I'm gonna try, yes, to show you why I consider this build to be extraordinary. Because you cannot tell by looking at it like that, but you have to look at it. Maybe a lot of you know the Pleroma, but don't know how it's built. This is just absolutely insane. But first of all, let's start by trying to get some organization in shooting that video. Starting with like I always do, I consider knives to be art, to be function, to be craftsmanship. There's a lot of things in it. The art is the design. The functionality is also partly the design, and the construction. And of course, the craftsmanship is the construction, of course. But the design first. Let's try to look at it in this closed way. I mean, first of all, this is a swindle. I love swindles. The design of a swindle I always loved. This is a revisitation of the swindle in Isham's way, which is absolutely fantastic to my eyes and probably to a lot of yours. in a close position, look at those lines. They are going from everywhere. The curved here, the curved here also on the carbon fiber, the curved here on the blade, the counter curve on the blade on the top of the blade. Absolutely insane. The cut that you have here on the frame, like a reminiscence of the curve that you have here, the groove that you have on the blade. Absolutely fantastic when it's closed. And now, I mean, you have the roundness and all is well balanced. Look here, I mean, you have here, look at the aspect here of the blade. Absolutely love that when the blades blends with the frame, you know. So you have here this, you know, this part here that is, I don't know, fucking hell, I don't, it's beveled. I don't know how you call it in English. Fucking hell. I mean, you see what I mean. This part here, that is absolutely almost, you know, identical to this line that you have here, and the blade here, the top of the blade, following the frame in almost a perfect fashion. I love this touch. Always love when they blend together as good as this knife. Now, in the open position, look at this line. Absolutely gorgeous, gorgeous line. I mean, again, the design, you can try to explain things, but man, when you look at this carbon fiber here, going with the flow here of the groove, this is just phenomenal. Absolutely adore that. Now, the design is something else. Now, let's try to focus on the construction, which is, oh man, the part that I want to talk to you about. This is an integral knife. You have to understand that you see no screws here. The only screw that you have here is to fix the overlay, I will call it, of the carbon fiber. This is an overlay or an inlay, call it, I mean, the way you want it. But this is actually the frame. The part of the titanium here and the part of the titanium here is the frame, an integral frame that has been cut here in order for you to show the light, to see the light. So that's an integral cut here in order to put that piece of carbon fiber. And the piece of carbon fiber is actually, it takes the full, it's not, that's why I don't know how to call it, overlay, inlay, or something else. I will call it something else because it's actually the frame is almost floating here. You don't understand how it's done, but it's cut in the whole part of the frame in order to insert that piece of carbon fiber that blends with the pivot here. Look at this pivot. Absolutely insane. So all this piece of carbon fiber is fixed here with a tiny, let me try to show you that. Okay, it's fixed here with the other way. You see, it doesn't have the titanium on this side. This is all the piece of carbon fiber, and the remaining part here of the integral frame is where it's fixed with this screw. This piece of carbon fiber is fixed with this screw, with the other part, and with the pivot also. So it's floating. I don't know. It's almost magic to me. I don't know if I can show you that, but that's crazy. This is crazy. You have here just a tiny part of the titanium going underneath in order for the screw to be fixed on the frame. Jesus Christ! I'm going to try to find some. You see, inside here, this part of the titanium is the rest of this going up here and being maintained. I mean, the carbon fiber is being maintained in the titanium frame. So that's an integral, but that's something else. I've never, ever in my life seen a construction like that. And I wanted to focus mainly on this construction because most of you would see that knife and wouldn't understand how it's built. It is absolutely insane. This is, you know, this part here, the rest of the frame is here, and it's just, oh, fucking hell, it's held in place by the pivot here, but it's just like it's floating. It's unbelievable. This construction is absolutely, I don't even know. I want to see that knife. I would love to see how they assemble that knife, but this is just insane. I mean, it's I don't know. Even I've been playing with that knife, and still it amazes me how they are managing to do that build. Now let me tell you this: the junction here are absolutely flawless. There is absolutely no gap. Everything is absolutely flawless and so well blended all together. This is just insanity. So that was the main focus. I wanted to entertain you about this construction. This was, I mean, the most important thing to me. Now, of course, you have a construction that is, I mean, aside from this crazy build, the construction is absolutely flawless. The blade is centered. You heard the detent. It's a manual knife, so whenever it's a manual, it's always harder to set a detent. And this one is absolutely perfect. You can flick it, as we love to do it. It's a dual thumb stud. I mean, just a second on the thumb stud. Look at that. It's floating on the blade. I mean, it's built with the blade. It looks like it's just a part of the blade, and it's floating here. And it's a dual thumb stud, and it works perfectly. Sorry, with the gloves, it's shitty. It works perfectly on both sides. Okay, and the detent, as I said, you can flick, and you can set a strong detent and flick it like that. But it's a manual knife, so you want to be able to open it, discreetly like that. And look at that. I mean, it's effortless to open that blade. Effortless. And still you can flick it, and and still you have here the detent. Boom. And trust me, even if with the biggest strength, you cannot disengage this blade when it's closed. So that construction is absolutely phenomenal. And of course, look at the engagement. It's perfect. Absolutely, it's absolutely impossible to have any movement whatsoever, front to front, side to side. Absolutely silly. I haven't mentioned that even though it's an integral, you have here what I love, which is it's a dual construction. You have an integral, you have this overlay here, and of course you have an insert lock, which is just crazy. You have everything on that knife. It's absolutely silly. You see, it's held in place, the insert lock, and it works just like magic to me. The design of the blade is fantastic. This huge hollow, look at that. I mean, it's hollow, and it's so perfectly done. I mean, of course, machinery, but it's so well done. It's absolutely insane. And it's so fun to play with. I mean, you can use the groove here to, of course, deploy the blade.